it's time for yet another cart that I would like to call a discovery cart. What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Haywood here from Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC, welcoming you to yet another episode of Good Times with Fresh Rich and Fun for Five. That's right, we have made it to Evercade Friday, and we are talking about none other than Cartridge 19, Codemasters Collection 1. Now, the reason I say that Codemasters Collection 1, or Cartridge 19, is indeed a cartridge of exploration is because, personally, there isn't a lot of, like, in my opinion, heavy hitters. There's, as we have the conversation about this cart, there's not going to be a lot of gameplay. This might be a little bit more of a shorter video. And I've said that before, and it turns out, sometimes I go off on half-hour tangents or hour-long tangents or something like that. I really do think this one is going to be a little shorter, but we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to show you why in just a bit. But does that mean the fun won't be found on this? You're going to have to stick around and find out. So let's get into this and talk a little bit more about Codemasters Collection 1. Let's go. So here we are. It's Codemasters Collection 1. Indeed, 17 games on this thing. This is a beefy cart. Now, in the back half of 11 through 20, there aren't a lot of collections that come in this heavy. There's a handful of them, but there's not a whole bunch that are like breaking that 15 plus game mark here on this backside. So already you're like, oh well, there could be a lot of value in there, and I think those assumptions might be correct. However, it's value of a different sort. So hear me out. This is what I'm saying here. So you got games like B-52, Big Nose Freaks Out, Big Nose the Caveman, and I'm going to skip over Boomerang Kid real quick and go to CJ's Elephant Antics. Right in the top row, there's 4 games. I've never played them before. Now, what are they? They're shooter/platformer likes. When you play them, you kind of feel like you're playing another game that maybe strikes in the heart of that nostalgia, but it's just a little bit different. And that little bit different, is it better? I don't know. I don't know if I can actually say that it is indeed better, but it is different enough where you kind of just want to experience it, right? But I will say in that top row, right off the bat, B-52, Big Nose Freaks Out, Big Nose the Caveman, and CJ's Elephant Antics, all half picks. Because I've never played them before. And when I did play them, I did have some enjoyment in playing the games. Now, does it raise to the level of, oh man, I got to recommend this game to people? No. But again, this is what I love about Blaze and I love about the Evercade. It is about discovery for me, first and foremost. I will buy a cart filled with games I've never played before because there might be that one or two, or sometimes a whole cart. Right? Like Indie Heroes, I got surprised, right? There's just, it just could be. It could be something great, but I take that risk, right? Even Ed, Retro KillDashNine, has said it is the gamble, right? You roll the dice in the cart because you never know. And I think this is one of those perfect examples of sometimes you get some cool stuff in here and sometimes you don't. But even the stuff that I think might be a little bit of a miss isn't so bad of a miss that you can't pick up the cart, right? That I wouldn't say, oh, well, if you're interested in just checking stuff out, Codemasters might be one you want to pick up. Okay, so again, I'm not going to dive in and start playing those because I just don't know if it's, if I did them, I'd want to do them all. It's 17 games. I'd be here for another hour. Exactly, right? And we want to keep this a little short, a little tighter, just to see how everyone feels about it, right? So, and again, let me know down below in the comments if you think I'm doing a good job with the shorter ones, you want me to do the long form ones. I mean, we're going to be revisiting some of these games, or a lot of these games, after I get finished with these Fun for 5 snippets where I do the whole carts and give you my picks. I think I've got a cool idea, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So then we get to Boomerang Kid. Now, Boomerang Kid, I don't know if I'm gonna play, but I just wanted to highlight Boomerang Kid. Now, we did a score challenge, an Evercade score challenge on Boomerang Kid. It's genuinely a confusing game. Not confusing is because it's a hard game to play, but confusing in the way that I want to pull from I really almost want to pull from AVGN and just pull out a what were you thinking? Like you have a platformer that allows a user to jump up and above multiple platforms safely, do a thing, and then jump back the exact same way and then die. Why? Why would you do that? That's silly times. And I can't in good conscience recommend this game to somebody, but at the same time, it's intriguing enough where I would say, you know what? It's on the cart anyway. Give it a whirl. It's not getting a half pick. It's not getting a pick. But I just wanted to highlight Boomerang Kid as one of those games that it's like, it could have been really awesome had the character been allowed to survive fall damage, basically, is what I'm saying. But that's Boomerang Kid. Now, Cannon Fodder is another cool highlight. It's an action strategy game. I think it's super fun. That gets a full pick right away. And I think this is one of those ones that's got a lot of nostalgia for people. A lot of people, when this game came out, really kind of gravitated to it, has a decent following. People may remember this game fondly. And for a controller-based action strategy game, something that isn't like the Command and Conquer where you're grabbing the mouse and the keyboards and all that kind of stuff, I think it controls well. I think it plays well, and I think it's kind of quirky fun. It's got that quirky fun. So I say it's a good time. So that definitely gets a full pick. Now we're gonna group two more: Cosmic Spacehead and Linus Spacehead's Cosmic Crusade. These games are pretty strange. Now, in the pantheon of Discovery, I would say they're not getting a pick at all, but they're enough to say, you know what, maybe you want to check them out just to play around with it for a couple minutes. Again, nothing special, but maybe something you want to check out. You got F-16 Renegade. This is a top-down shoot 'em up, kind of in the same vein as like a Xevious or something like that. 1942, like that kind of thing. Not to that level, or even the Xevious level, to be honest. But I will give it a full pick because I'm liking the shoot 'em up variety of games that I haven't played, and I'll give this one a full pick. It's not amazing, but it gets a full pick because I think those that are fans of shmups will have a good time in playing it. Because it's just another one that you can check out. So, and you look at the guy, look at the pilot's face. They're ready to rock and roll. It's gonna be good, right? I mean, these really don't have anything to do with anything, but I'm just saying. F-16, it gets a pick for me. Megalomania. Now, this is an unfortunate one for me. And the reason why it's unfortunate is because I believe that you have to do something. There is some kind of thing that you have to do in order to start the game that I don't realize. Maybe it's in the instruction manual. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But for me, it was one of those things that I just couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. And therefore, it can't get a pick because I actually couldn't even figure out how to get through to even start the game or play it. So it's a miss. That's a miss for me. That's a big miss. And it is. I don't think it's any fault of Blaze or the Evercade or whatever. I think it actually is part of the game design. Some of those games, they have those confusing menus. They get some whatever, and it's just not intuitive. So if you can't invite me into playing your game experience very easily, then sometimes I just don't have the time to figure it out, which is the case with Megalomania. And it's a shame because it's a strategy game, and I like strategy games. Just saying. But it's a miss. MiG-29 Soviet Fighter is another shoot 'em up, but this time it is along the lines of like your Top Gun, your Afterburner, your like that kind of stuff. It's a cool game. It's fun. Is it as fun as F-16 Renegade? No. But for those of you that like that kind of thing, I would say still full pick. But for me, it's a half pick on MiG-29 because I like the other game better. So that's where it's at there. Psycho Pinball. Psycho Pinball, immediate full pick. Why? Because it's a great example of a pinball game that controls well and has cool tables. Like it's got cool stuff that you can do. You get all sorts of stuff that you can go around. The ball control's pretty neat. You don't feel like you're getting too underserved by your controls, and it doesn't, it's fun. It's got cool sounds. It's got cool lights. It's neat. I like it. So, and that's the long and the short of it on Psycho Pinball is it's a full pick. Please play it. If you're into pinball at all, definitely play it. Now we get to Sensible Soccer. Sensible Soccer is one of those ones that I've got many friends, and some of those friends are from the UK and Europe area. And when I say, hey, if we ever talk about sports games, the one that every one of those friends remembers fondly is this game. And I kind of know why now that I got to experience it a little bit. It is a good game. It's got a lot of really cool features. It's a full-blown 2-player soccer game. You can play with your friends. You can play against a computer. You can even have the computer just play itself. You just set up 2 matches and just watch a game. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you could. And it does. It works. Sometimes it actually helps to learn some things about the game by watching the computer, like duke itself out with itself. But it is a really cool game. Now, I must say, we are less than 24 hours away from me playing another more modern, but yet pixelated game in Pixel Cup Soccer on the Atari VCS. Is it better than that? No. Pixel Cup Soccer came in out of nowhere and just blew me away. This wasn't that, but I will say this is probably one of the strongest soccer games you're going to play on the Evercade, period. So if you're looking for a soccer game, I would say Sensible Soccer is one of your ones. There is another one. I forget which one. Maybe on Pico 2. I think there's one on Pico 2 that I really liked, and I can't remember if it was on a different collection or not. I think it is Pico 2, and I can't remember the title. But there are 2 really strong soccer games for the Evercade. This is one of them, and there is another one. So, at least you've got that. But this is the one where all my friends. I mentioned a couple to a couple of my friends in this category who did not have Evercades, that I was going to play some Sensible Soccer, and they said, wait, what? And I was like, oh yeah, Sensible Soccer, it's on this collection, and I've got, this cool Evercade system, and it's pretty inexpensive, and you can do whatever. And one of them said, okay, I got to look this up. So, that's how much Sensible Soccer is a draw. It's a draw enough to people that they might actually buy this collection and an Evercade they didn't have to play Sensible Soccer again, even though they have it on emulator. Just saying. Anyway, Sensible Soccer, full pick. Stunt Buggies. It's like a weird maze race game kind of thing. It is a maze game. Like your Pac-Man, you're going around this thing. In this case, it's like the backyards of people's houses or whatever, and you're picking up things, and it's cool. It's cool. It is a little confusing. Sometimes it's a little unfair, a little cheap, I will say. But it's cool. It gets a half pick for me, not a full pick. If it wasn't as cheap, and by cheap I mean like AI that seems to be unfair, or situations where you get trapped and there's no way out of the maze. There's not a way you can navigate out quickly by using skill. And it gets a little annoying. But anyway, it's still a fun game, and I think people should check it out. So, Stunt Buggies, half pick. All right. Super Skidmarks. Now, a lot of people don't like this game, and I know that there's some that even around the Evercast that didn't like this game. My son loves this game. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the cow on the cover. And the fact that it's tires and wheels and it's vehicles, and he loves everything that has to do with vehicles. So that could be a contributing factor, but he absolutely adores this game. What is it? Ivan Stewart's Off-Road? Is it Ivan Stewart? Stewart Ivan? One of the something Stewart. And I think Ivan. Off-Road. Super Off-Road? This is not. This is not Super Off-Road. It's not Micro Machines, which again, I'll get to that in a second. It's not any one of those games, but it's still a game that is in that sun. It's not RC Pro-Am. It's in that vein, but it's not quite there. As a game, I can just barely give it a half pick, but it gets the full half pick because my son loves it so much, and that's it. So it might not be for you, but hey, maybe your kid will like it. So that's basically where Super Skidmarks is. For me, it cannot get a full pick, though, because it's not the games that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. Now, Tennis All-Stars. It seems interesting that it's Tennis All-Stars. In its form, Tennis All-Stars 4-Player Power Sportsmaster is a fully unreleased game. That is technically true. But this game was also released as a different name. Now, I don't know if there was different features. So you guys can correct me if I'm wrong down the comments. I will gladly accept those comments. But when I saw this box and then started getting into the Game Gear, these guys, right? These little cartridges. I started getting into those. I started looking at which cartridges could be for me. And then I decided, you know what? I might be able to go for a full run of Game Gear. That'd be kind of neat. I could have a cool little display. More on that later. But how would I all right, what's the target carts, right? What's my ceiling? And I found out Mega Man is the ceiling, and it's a hugely popular game, and it's a Mega Man, right, on the Game Gear, but they didn't make a lot of them, and it's kind of rare, and it's a lot. It's not super expensive, but it's pretty pricey. When you're paying a game that's like 20, 30 years old, you don't want to be paying a couple $100 for a game, but that's how much it is. And then there's another game called Pete Sampras Tennis. And it looks just like this box, only it has Pete Sampras on the cover instead of just the random thing. And it turns out that actually this game and Tennis All-Stars might have actually been the same game. So was this fully unreleased game really a fully unreleased game? I don't know. But like I said, it could have been like, oh, they had a prototype of this game, but then the other game became Pete Sampras and they changed a whole bunch of stuff. Again, down below in the comments, let me know. I will gladly be schooled. When we talked about this on the Evercast, I will also admit, too, this was during my Rich is Gone period, where things were happening at my house, and I wasn't really paying too much attention to the Evercast, nor did I have a Codemasters cart to play on my Evercade that had nothing in it. So I mean, I was a little late to the party on that. But in doing my own research, I did find out that there was that game. Regardless, it gets a half pick because it's a tennis game, and I like tennis games, but it's not a great tennis game, so I'll just give it a half pick. And then we get to Ultimate Stuntman. Now, this game is wild. This is one of those games that is this is the reason why I like Discovery on the Evercade, because you just never know. And when you start playing the game, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Well, it's a Spy Hunter clone. No big deal. Just Spy Hunter. And then you beat that first level, and then you go, oh, wait. Now I'm not in the car. Now I'm jumping around. Now it's all of a sudden like a side-scrolling platform, like run and gun. All right, that's cool. And then it goes back and forth and all that kind of stuff. It's neat. I like the aesthetic. It is a little hard, but you can get you get used to it. You can get through the levels. You want to put in the time. But Ultimate Stuntman, I'm saying super super cool, and I would definitely 100% give this a full pick. And I would dare to say this might be a reason to own the cart. I mean, Psycho Pinball, Sensible Soccer, Ultimate Stuntman, and Cannon Fodder are probably the reasons to own the cart for sure. I'd throw F-16 Renegade in there in case you're a fan of shoot 'em ups, but other than that, I mean, that's it. And then the rest of them, like I said, they're Discovery nibbles. Just take a little nibble and do a little Discovery and do that kind of stuff. So let's go to the wrap up and explain some other things that I may have just said a little bit ago, and we'll see how overall the cart is for me. All right, so that was Codemasters Collection 1 on the Evercade. That was cartridge 19, which means it's only one more until 20. That's pretty sweet, which means we've got 4 more to get through and then 4 more of the arcade carts. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then that whole month that'll go by, I will be able to get through the rest of the regular collections and the Technos arcade collection before the other 2 show up. But I will do arcades 2 through 4 and then go back and do the other 2. Just so you know, for scheduling purposes. That's how that's going to roll. But was the fun overall found in Codemasters Collection 1? Of course it was. You know, I'd say as long as you get at least 1 full pick out of the cart, and that 1 full pick is probably enough where if you were at a retro game store and that game was $20, would you pick it up? And you do? All right. Then collection's worth it, right? Because then you get all the other games and they come for free. And especially when you're getting, you know, you get Codemasters, you get 17 games on here. And like I said, at least 4 of them are cartridge owning worthy. You know, I'd say it's, you know, it's enough to pick it up, and then the rest is cool discovery or quirky discovery if you want to, you know, if you want to do it that way. Now, I do have one gripe about this cartridge. What is that gripe? This is called the Codemasters Collection 1. And I know everybody plays, it was licensing. I know it was licensing. I get it. Galoob didn't want to do whatever. I get it. But Micro Machines needs to be on one of these collections at some point. Right? You've got the Oliver Twins collection, which has a billion different Codemasters games on it. You've got the Codemasters collection, which has 17 others on it. If there's another Codemasters collection and somehow the licensing still doesn't work to get Micro Machines on a cart, I will be the saddest face ever. Because that immediately, if there's a Codemasters 2 announced and there's a little car on the cover and it says Micro Machines is one of those games, that's an insta buy. That's a certified good times is what that is. You just go out and you pay the $20 and you play Micro Machines over and over. It's such a great game. And I think more people should experience that game in case they have not experienced that game. It's awesome. I love it. But I was sad that it wasn't on here. I'm not going to knock the cartridge because, of course, like I said, it's got 4 great games for people that like those kind of games on this cartridge. That's worth it for me for the price of admission. But if this one had Micro Machines, it's it. I'd be playing Micro Machines throughout the entire Fun for 5, and I would have been like, yeah, there's 17 other games on here, but you just buy the game, you just buy it because it's Micro Machines to see it. Fun for 5 over, done. That's what it would have been. But sadly, no Micro Machines on here, and like I said, Super Skidmarks. It's not a replacement. You can't sneak that in and think that that's it. And that BMX bike simulator thing from Oliver Twins. No. It's Micro Machines or out of here for that. I'm just messing around. I'm really messing around, but I really do like Micro Machines. So what do you guys think though about Codemasters Collection 1? Let me know down below in the comments. You know how that goes. Everyone comment. Is something happening in YouTube? I'm putting on my videos, and you guys are watching and getting the thumbs. That's cool. Say hi. Say, yo, this is cool. I like the thing that you talked about. Or, shut your face hole, because I don't want to hear you. I don't know. Tell me something. Let me know. Let me know down below. All right. But anyway, that's it. We got the Evercast tomorrow. There was some cool drop of news that I'm not going to talk about on this video that just happened. Some kind of a thing about the anniversary 2-year thing. I don't know. Just Evercast tomorrow, 11 a.m. It's me. It's Crow. It's Ed, KillDashNine. No Pop, though, because he's on holiday. But I don't know. He's a wacky guy. Sometimes he just pops in for no reason. So there's that. But until next time, my friends, we will catch you next time for some good times. Don't forget next week is Mega Cat Collection 2. So that'll be kind of a cool one too. We'll see what happens there. But until next time, we'll catch you next time for some good times. I'm Rich, and we will see you later. All right, take it easy, guys.
RTFC.baconicecream.com